Join us today as we talk about the lead and copper rule revision for the city of Statesville.
Welcome to Front and Center, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on government operations, offering you an exclusive glimpse into the inner workings of the city of Statesville.
Welcome back to Front and Center. I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Nikayla Griffin.
Hello.
As always, and we have a special guest today. We have Assistant City Manager Scott Harrell.
Hey, April.
Glad you could be with us today, and you could take time out of your busy schedule. We know you are busy, and we appreciate it. We're going to be talking about the lead and copper rule revision and what that means for the residents of Statesville today, and you're going to give us the lowdown on this.
I am. It's an important topic. It will affect all residents just in the fact that we have some notifications going out, so just want to give you some background on what it is and what it means.
We're going to try to make this fun.
Right.
We will try,
Because
yes,
it does sound boring, but we're going to try and make it fun.
And we're the fun committee.
We are.
Yes.
We are.
So let's jump right in, Scott. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
So exactly what is the lead and copper rule revision? I have no idea, so you're going to have to tell me.
So the lead and copper rule revision is a new requirement from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which is designed to offer additional protection against the potential for lead in your drinking water. That's a long sentence. Just to say off, there is no lead in Statesville's drinking water.
Thank you, because I'm...
But
Let's say that one more time.
there is no lead in Statesville's drinking water.
Good. That's
We
right.
have a lead-free water supply and a lead-free treatment process. But in other parts of the country, there have been some issues with that, especially in areas that have lead service pipes. We'll explain what that is later. Okay. But so this is a rule that came out from the EPA that requires us to do some investigation and some inventorying of water service lines in the city and to notify our residents.
Okay.
And one important point, it especially focuses on homes and buildings that were constructed before 1986. Why 1986, you ask? Because that's when lead materials were banned.
Well, that was
from
my
construction.
question, but
Well,
you
good.
just went on
I was
into
trying
it.
to save
You
it
just
to
get
you.
on into it.
Tell
Well,
us
you seem
about it.
tired. You seem tired. I wanted to save you the work. But so in 1986, lead pipes and lead solder and other lead-containing materials were banned from construction. So homes built after that year really aren't likely to have any materials in them at all.
Okay.
So, but for homes built before that year, there is a chance. So EPA is putting these steps and requirements in place so that we can identify and mitigate any potential issues.
Okay.
But I want to say there's no lead in Statesville's drinking water.
But it could come out of the pipes that's going through. That's kind of what you're saying. Okay.
So even though the water leaves our plant lead-free, there is the potential if you have lead pipes in your house or in your place of business that the water as it goes through the pipes could pull lead out or leach lead out of the pipes and get into your drinking supply.
Okay.
But two things I'd like to say on that.
Okay, yes.
And I'm sorry if I'm taking another one of your
No,
questions,
you're
but I just
fine.
want to say it.
We want to hear it.
One, our water we manage the chemistry, and that's the way of saying we manage the pH and other aspects of the water to minimize, if not eliminate, the potential for water to pull lead out of the pipes
Okay.
if there are lead pipes there. That is called non-aggressive. We have non-aggressive water.
Really?
So we
Well, it's good to know
do
that we're
not pull.
non-aggressive.
So the water chemistry is important. We do a great job monitoring that at the plant. And also we do monitor our water quality at the plant daily. Several times a day we take samples and test them.
Okay.
We also routinely pull samples from different points around the city. So we don't just test it at the plant. We might go to a water fountain in a school.
Okay.
Or we might knock on your door one day and say, can we take a water sample out of your faucet? We test those as well. And lead-free.
Okay.
And by lead-free, I mean everything that we test for has an action level. If you're below the action level, you're okay. And so we haven't hit any action levels. And if you want to check that online, we publish our consumer confidence report. The water plant's required to put that out every year. April posts it. You can go on and see our test results for the previous year. We have very good, clean,
And we have
compliant,
award-winning water.
non-aggressive water.
But we have award-winning
We do
water.
have award-winning
Yes, we do.
That's
We
right.
win
That's
awards for this water.
Good water
That's
in
right.
Statesville.
So you may be asking, why do we have to do something if our water is lead-free? It's because the
Here he goes
EPA
again.
said so.
He just does not want to hear us talk today.
We're going
Would you like to
home,
ask a
April.
question?
We're just going to leave. We're
Yeah,
just
we'll
going to
just
leave.
leave
All
it.
right.
Would you like
No,
to
you
ask-
just head on into it, Mr.
All right.
Harrell.
Well, I bet you're just dying to know, well, what does the city have to do then if we have lead-free water? So that's why we're here. So there's really two things we have to do. One, the rule revision does require more stringent testing. So we have to change our testing frequency, and also it lowered the action level.
Okay.
So at which you get a red flag if you hit it. That all happens at the water plant, doesn't affect y'all or any resident. what the main thing we have to do that residents will see is we have to inventory all the service lines in the city. What, you may ask, is a service line? So the water plant sends its water out through, and April has a wonderful diagram on the website. There's a website for the lead and copper rule revision. All the water mains, typically they run through the streets, beneath the streets. There is a line connecting the water main to your house or water main to your business. That's the service line.
Okay.
That's what the point of this rule is. That's what the emphasis and focus is to evaluate those service lines.
Okay, so hold up.
Yes.
We're inventorying two sides.
Correct?
Our side, which is the city, which is from the water main
Right.
in the
From
street.
the water main in the street to the water meter, that part
for
of the
your
service
house
line
in,
is
in your property, like that one on the
correct. The
ground.
meter,
Okay.
the water meter is usually in the front yard. If you have a sidewalk, it's somewhere there around the sidewalk.
Okay.
The city owns and maintains the service line from the main to the meter.
Okay.
And then from the meter on into the house or business or whatever, the property owner is responsible for that section.
Okay.
So,
So we're doing
there's the potential
surveying both
for the
sides.
two, we have two different
Okay.
materials there. Typically, our current standard, if you're putting a new one in, it's a copper line from the water meter or from the main to the meter, and it's copper from the meter on into the house. There could be used PVC. There are some old galvanized metal, which are not lead containing. So there's different materials that could have been used over time. Since 1986, lead has been banned, but it's possible in some of the older construction or different parts of town that lead pipes were used if it was built before 86. So that's the main task we're about right now, is to inventory all these service lines.
Right.
And
we have inventoried some of these.
We're about halfway through.
Okay.
There's about 14,600 or so service lines total, all of our connections to our system. By means of just eliminating the construction since 1986, EPA says if it's after 1986, you can classify it as non-lead.
Perfect.
We have to put them all into categories: non-lead, lead,
No,
or
galvanized.
which galvanized.
Okay.
There's 4 categories: galvanized, lead, non-lead, and unknown.
Unknowns. Okay.
And so we're about halfway through the process. When we found out about the rule change, we started just in our everyday work. If our workers are out and they're looking at a water meter, looking at a line, they take a note of the material and record that in the inventory.
Okay.
And then that's how we got most of it through. We're going to need some help from the residents to get the rest of the way. We have 3 years. We have until November of 2027 to finish the inventory and identify everything, basically eliminate all the unknowns.
But that's really not as long as people think
It's
it is.
not a long time. It's not a long time.
I mean, it flies, it seems.
Which is what
so.
comes to how we need residents' help to help us
Okay,
out.
well, let's hold up a second.
Sure.
Let's talk about these letters.
Right,
That's
because
exactly
we're
what I
going
was
to get
gonna do.
calls.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're going to be questioned. Why are you sending me a letter telling me to go do some stuff?
We are sending a letter because the EPA mandates, as part of the lead and copper rule revision, that we send letters to residents and tell them what we're doing and why. So
Okay.
you will see, chances are, probably half the folks out there are going to receive a letter in the coming week or two. They're starting to go out this week. They kind of go out on the water bill cycle. So the first batch will go out this week. And if we have evaluated your water service and determined that it is lead-free or non-lead, you're not going to get a letter.
Okay.
So if you don't get a letter, don't worry about it. It's because you were found to be in the non-lead category.
Okay.
But if you do get a letter.
If you do get a letter, it'll say one of two things. Either you have a galvanized material or you have an unknown material.
Okay.
Which all that means is we haven't got to you yet. Doesn't mean we have no idea. It just means we're going through a process and we only got halfway through. So for those who we don't know, we have to send a letter saying we're doing an inventory and we haven't got to you yet. It's going to say unknown because that's the word EPA requires us to use. We're sending letters now because EPA says you have to send them by the middle of November.
Okay.
So that's why we're sending them now. So some people we haven't got to yet.
But the point is here, do not panic.
No.
Again, no lead in our water.
Okay.
We're just doing an inventory.
That's right. And so we're halfway through. We have not found any service lines with lead pipe yet.
That's
I've not
amazing.
found any.
That's great.
So
Not
no lead
saying
pipes
that
so
there
far.
won't be one
Right.
here
There
or
may be
there.
some. There may be some. Not
But
yet.
we haven't found any yet.
But in these letters, because it's important to bring it up, EPA mandated certain information to go into these letters. Part of that is what to do if you think you have a lead problem, which I can understand if you go, hey, here's a pipe or a letter saying, I may have lead. We don't know what your lead service is because it says unknown, and here's what to do if you have lead. That's just because the EPA says we have to give you that information. And there are some steps in the letter if you're concerned about the potential for lead or if you know you have lead pipes. in your house or in your business, there's some things you can do. You can run out to a hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, or someplace. You can get a water test kit for like $15 or $20 and do your own test if you're concerned.
And I think that would be more concerning for people with children.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're going to be more concerned if you have kids. I mean,
Correct.
but like you said, you can have it tested and, you know, very easily.
That's correct.
So,
And I will say I don't have the exact statistics and locations, but part of our periodic testing, we target those areas,
Right.
daycare, schools,
yes.
churches, that sort of thing, that have kind of a lot of kids. Those are some of the places we pull our testing samples
Okay.
from.
Okay. Great.
what other steps do you have to?
Well, so you will also see in the letter, especially if you get the letter that says your unknown material, we haven't gotten to you yet, there'll be a link to a survey where you can go on. It's a survey on the city's website, and you can actually, if you know what your materials are, you can tell us, which will help us. If you say, I've looked at it, I'm not sure, could you come check? You can let us know, and we'll get you in the queue to come out and make an assessment, just to kind of help speed things up for us. Again, we've got 3 years, but like you said, that'll go by quickly.
It will go by quickly. Let's go back to other ways besides just getting a test. What can you do other than test your water? I mean, what are things you can do, like run your water? I mean, what are things that you can do?
Some of the typical guidelines, if you are concerned about the potential for lead, so the lead, if water's just been sitting there in the pipes not being used, just flush it. Just
Okay.
run your water for about 5 minutes, run cold water for about 5 minutes, and that'll freshen up all the water, pull the water that's in, and it goes down the drain before you start using it. That's if you haven't.
That was new to me. I didn't know you weren't supposed to use hot water to cook with. I'd never realized that.
All right. Well,
No.
hot water can, if you have lead materials in your pipes, hot water can pull it out more quickly.
Didn't know
So
this.
you just pull cold water out.
So when you go to make that mac and cheese and you're boiling that water, use cold water.
Cold water.
That's
Wow.
right.
Wow.
Lots of mac and cheese in my house with kids.
Me
so.
too.
And if you have any concerns, again, on the website there is a link, there's a phone number,
Right.
And we're anticipating when these letters go out, getting a lot of calls. We will get through them as expeditiously as we can. But again, it helps us to come out and have a chance to lay eyes on service lines ourselves. It may require just some looking in around the water meter box. If you have a crawl space or a basement, you can go down and see where the water pipe comes into your house.
Nope.
Yeah.
Or you can send your
We've
husband
talked
or your
about my
kid into
basement.
the crawl space or your basement to see where the water line comes in, and you can make an assessment there. The guideline says if you take a coin and scratch the pipe, one, if it's copper, it's going to look like copper, kind of like
Right.
a penny.
Like a penny.
If it's a dull gray color, it might be lead. It might be galvanized metal. Galvanized metal, I think, is magnetic, so there's a
Yes.
chance there. And then if it's PVC or plastic, then it's clear that that's what it is. So you can do. That's really what we're asking. If folks if you're interested and curious and you want to crawl into your crawl space and check out the service line
Nope.
type you have, fill out that survey, and everyone besides April could be real helpful. And
Michaela,
give us
go on and
information.
crawl in that crawl
No.
space. No.
We'll call you.
Basement, yeah.
That's fine.
That's the person
fine.
to call. I'm not.
Don't tell people that. They'll call
Oh yeah. Call Scott.
So
Harold.
Take a look, you're pushing it.
I'm sorry.
there
Take
is
over our
a
questions
phone
again,
number
Mr. Harrell.
and an email address that's been established, and Scott's involved. But yeah.
That's awesome. So that's good.
And really, that's the bulk of it. We have this 3-year time frame to get through the inventory process. Now, at the end of 3 years, the way the rule is currently written, we will have then 10 years to facilitate replacing those service lines. Any that are found to have lead, and because of different reasons of EPA or associated reasons, EPA also wants the galvanized metal ones to be replaced. Right now, we've been through about 7,500 or so of the total water sources. We've identified about 800 galvanized metal lines. All the rest
Okay.
that we found are non-lead, so or something other than galvanized metal. So in that 10-year period, that's from 2027 to 2037.
Okay.
We will have a plan in place by November 2027 to replace it. Now, the rule does not say that. Obviously, the city side, from the main to the meter, we're responsible for.
Right.
From the meter to the house, that's where there's still a lot of questions. The rule instructs the city to facilitate and provide guidance on getting those replaced. It doesn't say yet that the city has to do it or pay for it.
Right.
Now, with most things like this, generally there comes some funding, so we're anticipate there being some funding
And
assistance.
we will always be looking for that as
Right.
well. We're always looking for grants.
And we'll certainly be facilitating and working with homeowners and property owners to replace their portion if it turns up needed. Right now, the percentage is small, and we haven't found any of lead. And we've got, like I said, we'll have really until, this will be with us till 2037.
And again, this is the initial service inventory.
Correct.
So what are we, and you said, okay, go online, fill out the survey. So that's going to help us go in, fill
Help us
in
complete the
all
survey,
this,
right.
and then we'll send that back into the state. I'm assuming when this is all over.
We have annual updates we have to provide
Right.
to the state, which is administering the rule for the EPA. And really, this first step is to see, the goal is get all of the lead service lines out. So nobody's drinking water that
Right.
comes through lead, even if the water is not, you just eliminating the potential.
Gotcha.
There's no lead in our water, but we want to eliminate the potential. And so that's the goal. And this first step is to see how big of a task it is.
Right.
And that's why we're doing the inventory.
And I'm assuming after that, they'll make decisions.
Correct.
As
And
to
whether
how they
there's
want to move
funding,
forward.
approach, schedule, all that may be adjusted. But right now, the goal, you have to set the goal and get people moving, and that's where we are.
All right, so I'm going to walk downstairs. I'm going to check my service line. I'm going to go online to statesvillenc.net, and I'm going to take this inventory survey, and it's going to be simple and easy for me, right?
It's pretty simple. It's
Okay.
pretty simple.
All right,
Yep.
just making sure.
And if any point you look at your service line and you're not quite sure, is it galvanized? Is it lead? Is it something else? Is it just there's so much dust in April's basement you can't tell what it is?
It's the unfinished basement. April does not go down there.
Okay, so then just log that in, put it in. You can still go in the survey and say, hey, here's my address. I looked at it. I'm not sure. Please advise, and we will.
Like you said, put you in the queue.
We'll put you in the queue to come check out. Our technicians will get to you. It doesn't mean if we come out and we find that it's galvanized lead, we're going to change it right then.
Right.
I mean, the requirement is get the inventory done by 2027, and then develop a plan for how it will be replaced, how to accomplish that. So. We won't show up with a backhoe and a shovel and start digging up the yard right then. We just want the information. We're in the information gathering stage right now.
Even though,
We'll send a backhoe to your yard.
yeah, I figured you would say
Dig
that.
something up.
I'm telling you, men love to tear stuff up.
Yeah.
They like to dig up stuff and tear stuff up.
And then they
so-
don't complete it all the time.
That's right. They don't finish the
they don't
project.
finish
Yeah,
the
we'll
project.
talk about that
Yeah,
on
we're
another
talking about
podcast.
city trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in front of Scott,
No,
because he
no.
finishes everything.
That's right.
That's right. Absolutely. You're my friend, Nikki.
I am, just so you
Appreciate
know.
So again, the main point of this podcast today was to get the information out there.
Correct.
To say, hey, we got these letters going out. Don't worry. Do not worry, because water does not have lead. Our water does not have lead in it when it leaves our facility. We treat our water to make sure it's not leaching
Correct.
lead from the pipes if it possibly passes through a galvanized or a lead pipe. Is there what else? What else are we looking at
We
here? I
do
mean, it's just-
testing routinely throughout the system. Our results have been good. They've been published. You can see those on the website. It's just EPA's wanting to address an issue that's been an issue in other parts of the
Oh,
country.
yes, yes.
Absolutely been an issue. And so we want to make sure it's not an issue here. And to our best knowledge, it is, but we're going through the steps that EPA's guiding us through to just confirm.
All right. Michaela, give us some information on what they can do.
Well, so what you can do, I know I just saw Scott. Of course, you call Scott Harrell.
That's right.
That's what you're gonna
704.
do. No, you're right. But no, so you can
Actually,
call.
we have a special line set
We
up.
do have a special line. So it is a special line that you can call at 704-768-5555. Or you can email us at waterserviceline@statesvillenc.net, and that is waterserviceline at statesvillenc.net. So we will be happy to assist you. It won't be me, but we will be happy to assist you in any way that we
Because
can.
Michaela nor I are going to go in a basement.
Right. We will cheer you on and make sure you get out without spiders.
And just remember, we just want people to know we're here to help.
Yes, we
Absolutely.
are.
We're here to help.
Absolutely.
We're not just saying we want you to go do it. If you can do it, hey, we're all about saving some money and,
Right.
and getting this inventory completed, But if you need help, we're here. I mean,
Yeah, and
Scott's
to
here.
answer questions, again, it's been an issue in other parts of or challenge in other parts of the country.
Give us an example.
Well, everybody's heard of Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
yes.
So that helps people understand. But there was a whole different situation there. This has nothing to do with
That's
Statesville.
right.
So we
Right.
just want to put that out there.
And so it's something we've been on top of. We monitor for it. We specifically plan and treat the water at the treatment plant to minimize the potential for lead. If there is any lead-containing material, we minimize the potential for it to move into your water. And we run tests year-round. And so, but just to go one step further, we're going to comply with EPA, obviously,
Yep.
and complete this inventory, and then be communicating with homeowners who may need to have some action to consider.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is very awesome, and you've given us so much.
Thanks for making it fun.
Information. I know
Because
you
it
did.
sounds like a boring subject, and we appreciate you not even giving us a chance to
Chance to
ask the
talk,
questions,
yeah.
just flying right through them.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough. You
Right.
just took our job and just made it easy.
Today's going to be
You're
great
certainly
because of
welcome.
you.
Well, I hope so. We'll see you out tomorrow, but I'm glad today is great. Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you all for listening today and tuning in with us. This was a great information session. So be sure to check out all the resources that are online. And today, Scott had mentioned that the Consumer Confidence Report and the Service Line Inventory Survey, they are on our website, and it is at www.statesvillenc.net. Please look it up and get what you need so that we can make sure that we are all safe, because there is no lead in Statesville's water.
Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next time.
Tune in to the next episode as we share our dedication to transparency, public service, and governance, shining a spotlight on our commitment to keeping you well informed about all things City of Statesville.